Me too. You got that, you put the battery on the charger? Red Dirt Farm. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
I think that the weaponizing of immigrants or equating immigrants to criminals was feeding off people's fears because the statistics don't support that. But there is a problem at the border, and there's been a problem for decades and decades, and every administration has come through here and no one has fixed it. It ballooned in this last administration, and that's what the people voted on, a referendum on that. Because right now, one thing I've never understood, and I actually think we'll wait to see how this looks, but either we have laws at the border or we don't. We're asking people to get in line to come into this country while incentivizing people not waiting in the line. Like, we've seen things where sanctuary cities like California and Illinois, it's kind of like get to the country, like kick the can. If you get to base, though, you're going to be fine. You also have Tim Walz signed into legislation in Minnesota that allowed undocumented immigrants to receive free in-state tuition. All of these are lovely in spirit, but there are people that can't pay for food for their own families. In New York, they were giving the $500 meal cards, and obviously we want to help someone for the humane interest, but there's a lifeboat here. And I think the rage about the border was also people here that are maybe insecure, homeless at times, making ends meet, and they don't have they can't send their kid to college. So that's the outrage of what I saw the voters say.
Hey, come get this number right quick. Watch the moment Beyonce's baby bump folded. Baby bump
They try me. Black Star most deaf quality. Good southern bad hoes.
Because that's a fake baby bump that she's got on there.
Try me.
Because she's probably a man. Book. You got that filter, Book? Huh? You got the filter?
Yeah.
You got the water pump?
No.
You gotta take that water pump cord back. Man. Plug that other printer up in there, the white one, and see if it'll come on, and then print me a copy of this. But Joe, you got your phone?
Yeah, I got it.
Call this number right here. 770. You got the water pump, tires, and the filter.
Yeah, I get water pump.
770-427-1348. Cobb County Tractor, that's the New Holland dealer. That's the closest one here. Call them and see about the tie rod ends on it, and get me a price on it. Our cost.
Oh, boom.
Well, I did a live thing with him so he could see they blowed out, and he said to get a price on it. So we need to get that crunk to make sure there ain't nothing else leaking on it.
When we turn it like this,
Yeah, but so there ain't nothing else leaking on it, so we can check the brakes on it.
All right.
Chapman. Thank you, sir. Make a copy. Plug that white printer in, but don't lose that. That'll make that legal to do that with Project 2025. If all the corporate media is here, but considering their viewership on election night was abysmal, probably makes very little waves when it's all said and done.
We're doing some big layoffs. CNN is going to axe top stars and
Ooh.
layoffs that'll see hundreds fired as rate.
They're gonna hire some new meat up there, new talents coming in. I'm cheap. You can hire me cheap. I'll do that shit cheap, and I'll stay there all the time too. You can put me a cot in the break room back here. I can sleep on the couch.
Ratings continue to tank. Womp womp. But that's not all. MSNBC
But you can't get a job in mainstream media unless you're gay.
is hemorrhaging viewers since election day.
I am a lesbian. Does that count?
It sheds more than half of its primetime audience. It's a stale product no one will want to listen
Hit
to.
thumbs up or
going
down
forward.
on your way
You
in and
almost
out.
kind of feel bad. Almost. In October, it was kind of starting to be rumored that Comcast was going to be putting a lot of these shows up for sale to other networks because they were going to go and move towards more of a streaming type of service possibly. And it's looking more and more like that's actually going to happen. So not only did MSNBC have just abysmal ratings for the election, they had to lay off a bunch of people, but now they're going to be out of like a place to have their shows. Essentially putting the last nail in the coffin when it comes to cable networks, having cable. I think a lot of us cut the cord many years ago and we deal with just in streaming services now. Initially we did it to save money, but I don't know how much money we're actually saving. I feel like we pay a lot for our streaming services, almost as much as our cable.
I cut my home phone off today, $140 a month. I don't even use the damn thing.
Broadcasts and things like that.
I said, do I
It's
need
kind
that?
of
They
up
said
in the
no.
air. I can
I said, cut
imagine
it
if
off.
they start to
I've had
shift
that
to
number
other
for
places,
20-something
there's
years.
probably going to be more layoffs. There's a lot of articles out there that are talking about the viewership on election night when it comes to corporate media was at an all-time low. And that really just kind of hammered it down. Everybody was kind of feeling the pinch after that, and it was just kind of done.
I don't
Does that
remember
mean
the
we
last
could be
time
getting
I
rid
had
of the View anytime soon?
a phone call at the house.
I don't watch them, but a lot of the people that I follow, they love to clip them and make fun of them, which is funny sometimes. But The View feels rage baity anymore, it seems like, for ratings. Does that make sense? I don't know, but corporate news is dead. It's dying. It's dead. I anticipate, like, maybe 2 years, maybe. And I guarantee you, whatever our next election is going to look like, your next election is going to be decided by podcasts. People are just tired of the propaganda. Like, we're just over it. We're teaching our kids not to even, our kids don't even tune in. They're not going to grow up with corporate media. There's nowhere for it to go. It's just a wait and see game now for some of these anchors and what they're going to do. But I don't really give a fuck, so I'll see you later.
Later. She's using my tagline. # trademark.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to know, are we at a point now, is everybody past the election, are we at a point where we can talk about this wig yet?
Can we talk about this wig yet?
Are we at a point where we can discuss this?
Sort of looks like Cousin It that's had a haircut and you can see her face. Cousin It off the Addams Family.
As the community of black people, are we at a point where we can start to delve into this, get under the surface of this, and figure out what happened? Who sent this child outside to be on TV with this wig on? Who did it? That's all I'm asking. Can we get into this part?
How much?
$5
$538
a piece. Oh,
You got a part number on that?
8396
Hold up. 8396
1705.
1705. And that's both of them are the same?
Yeah, they're the same on both sides.
And you said it was 538.19?
538 each.
And you got them in stock?
no,
I'm gonna have to order them. They gotta come out of Indianapolis. usually takes about 5 business days.
All right, let me pass that on to the owner and see what he wants to do. Thank you, sir. All right, man. All right. 538 apiece.
Yep.
Look, go online and see if you can get them tie rod ends.
What's part number?
Hey, see, this is shit you ought to be doing. What are you doing?
We get part number from.
Go get one of them things of Post-its that he had on the desk over there. He had like 7 packs of them over there. Yeah.
Is this the starter wig? Is this the I got to get my wig from the stove next to the Piggly Wiggly? Because I'm just getting started. If so, I'll leave it alone. Were you playing with the electrical socket before they called you into work? What happened? Tornado, I'll take anything. Did you fall in the rose bushes? What happened?
He said he got it at the Piggly Wiggly.
And more people hate on me. I didn't even know they knew who I was. I didn't know you cared. You know how many people are lurking in your life, looking at every Facebook post, everything you do, but they won't comment and they won't press the like button, but they steady.
It's 839-61705. So go
839-61705.
839-61705. Yeah. Go online and see if you can find that tie rod in with that part number. Chapman's. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Scrolling, just a bunch of scrollers. They so worried about what you're doing, and it's because they can't stop what God wants to do in your life.
They can't stop what God's doing. Y'all ain't in control of none of this shit. We on God's timeline.
So since you're watching, watch this. Watch me praise him. Watch me elevate. Watch me go higher. Watch me get free. Watch me get healed. Watch me stay blessed. Watch me drive what I want to drive. I ain't never had...
Micro pub and bottle shop.
Toilet's not working properly. Let's go in and
Meter
have a
or
look.
payment.
Did you say the toilet's down the end of this tunnel? It's right at the bottom of there. I'm a bit scared. Come on. Just got to swap this. It's a bottom inlet valve. One of the ones that they give you with the old toilet. Absolutely part of the pants. I think it's lasted about 6 months. Come on, I mean, what do they give you these things for with the toilet system? How much are they worth? About £3.90 and a rabbit's full. As if they haven't done it. We'll swap it for this one. It's a flush daddy, supplied by Mark Vito, so you can get them in most merchants. 10-year warranty, range rate between 7.5 and 11.5 inches. Click it into place. Brass connection because we don't want to be cross-threading it. Domed washer. The actual float is encased so it's not going to stick on anything. My go-to valve. So that's it. Flush daddy. It is the daddy as well. So about 10, 12 pounds.
Don't take my power.
10-year warranty, easy to install.
Don't
Don't
that.
just fix that toilet with the flush daddy. And listen
Yeah,
to what he says.
Can I pay you, Andy, or Saturday? You can come in.
Good. I'm gonna wait for Drizzy. He want me to do the process.
What do you reckon? Do you think I should come in Saturday night free beer or get
Yeah,
paid?
the power cord should be over
Do you
there.
think? What do you think?
Well, you
know
need
what?
to find it.
That's why I love it.
Fentanyl, heroin, meth, and other lethal drugs are pouring across our
Some
wide
declaring
open
war.
border, stealing hundreds of thousands of beautiful American lives, and it's happening like never before in our history. Children are being left without parents, families are being ripped apart, communities are being decimated. Our neighbors and fellow citizens are having their entire worlds destroyed like nobody thought possible. Our country is being poisoned from within by the drugs and by all of the other crime that's taking place. The drug cartels are waging war in America, and it's now time for America to wage war on the cartels. In this war, Joe Biden has sided against the United States and with the cartels. They are making more money than they've ever made before, times 10. There's never been anything like it. They're major, major companies. They're bigger than even some of our biggest companies. Biden's open border policies are a deadly betrayal of our nation. When I am president, it will be the policy of the United States to take down the cartels, just as we took down ISIS and the ISIS Caliphate, and just as, unlike the situation we're in today, we had a very, very strong border, the strongest border, in fact, in the history of our country, and drugs were at a low of 45 years. There's been nothing like what we did just 2 years ago. We will show no mercy on the cartels. Every day, drug traffickers are using the waters of our region to ship their lethal poisons to America, killing so many of our people and ruining families. In addition to restoring strong border security, I will deploy all necessary military assets, including the U.S. Navy, to impose the full naval embargo on the cartels. I did that before, and it worked. What we did was incredible. We will guarantee that the waters of the Western Hemisphere are not used to traffic illicit drugs to our country. Furthermore, I will order the Department of Defense to make appropriate use of special forces, cyber warfare, and other overt and covert actions to inflict maximum damage on cartel leadership, infrastructure, and operations. I will designate the major cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We will sever their access to global financial systems. I will also work to forge an unprecedented partnership with neighboring governments in our region, just like I did in Mexico. And remember, in Mexico alone, an estimated 100,000 civilians have been tragically murdered or gone missing at the hands of these cartels. The Mexican government, run by a very fine man, the president, is really working hard, but it's not working out. These cartels are vicious and they're
Somebody tell her I say hello.
And they have Mexico for now stymied. And we have to help Mexico, and we have to stymie the cartels. Either we will get the full cooperation of other governments to stop this menace, or we will expose every bribe, every kickback, every payoff, and every bit of corruption that is allowing the cartels to preserve their brutal reign, and it is indeed brutal. Finally, as I have said before, I will ask Congress to pass legislation ensuring that drug smugglers and human traffickers receive the death penalty. The drug cartels and their allies in the Biden administration have the blood of countless millions on their hands. Millions and millions of families and people are being destroyed. When I'm back in the White House, the drug kingpins and vicious traffickers will never sleep soundly again. We did it once, and we did it better than anybody else. There's never been a better border than we had just 2 years ago. It was strong, it was powerful, and it was respected all over the world. And now we're laughed at all over the world. And we're not going to let that happen much longer. We have to take over, we have to be tough, we have to be smart, we have to be fair. But if we don't do something immediately, our country is gone.
That's the memory. Huh? That's a memory thing. It's got all our files on it from the show.
I think it, yeah, ain't that major?
I don't know what you're talking
I think you have one.
I did have one. Y'all was supposed to put all that shit together.
Yeah, we didn't have done that. Somebody did.
Well, somebody did, yeah. Tifa terrorists were bombed, gets bombed while January 6th political. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Oh, you don't want to pay.
That bro tries to leave taxes without paying.
You gotta pay, bro. Go pay, bro.
You gonna pay, bitch.
Okay, bro. That's crazy. You gotta pay, Greg. You going on TikTok?
Take your ass back there and pay the tax.
There we go. Got him. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
That's what
About time the cops did something good.
California, where cops have been called onto the scene here as they see somebody walking around. A couple of people made phone calls, and now the cops are approaching this person, asking them if he lives there, and he goes, yes, I do live here. But then the cop notices that he has a knife on him, and he's like, go ahead and give me the knife. As soon as he asks him to give him the knife, of course he bails out. He's going to try and play a game of freaking Grand Theft Auto, activating 5 stars. Now, booyah, let us still in, giving this idiot a bon voyage party and sending him into the afterlife as he gets deleted before our very eyes. Suicide by cop? Who the hell knows? But what I do know is that these cops are going home to their stovetop stuffing, while this guy is going to get his stovetop stuffed by Lucifer.
Jennifer, what's going on, girl?
When he has dinner in hell. Let's take a look at the replay. Obviously up to no good. He was ready to freaking just stab these officers. And don't tell me a freaking taser could help in this situation. We always know when they bust out the taser, even when they bust out the gun. Sometimes too late and you have a knife stuck in your chest.
Yeah, I ain't finna tase your ass. You coming to me with a knife?
For a very exciting position. And our policy on this program is going to be, we're going to tell you the rumors. The rumors are that Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security.
They're going to let Cash Patel be in charge?
That's a good position. Marco Rubio to be Secretary.
No, fuck Marco Rubio.
Of State. And Cash Patel to be CIA. Now, there's an article, and here's the article. There's an article that went viral after we teased this out on our show. Cash was joining us earlier in the week. Cash said, hey, you know what? It's time. Let's go. You love Cash. We love Cash on this program. And I full-throatedly endorse Cash Patel as the CIA director. That's what I want. And we're gonna advocate for that. But don't fall for fake news, obviously. The selection has not been made yet. Ex-defense official Cash Patel emerges as top contender for CIA director. We put up a post this weekend, it went hard, about why we support Cash Patel. The reason why is pretty clear, and I want to make this very public. Because I don't think few actually understand the nexus of what happened with President Trump in his first term.
He needs to hurry up with that damn.
Where did all the lawfare start from? What was the hive of scum and villainy?
7th floor
in
of the
President
FBI.
Trump's first term? It was the CIA. The CIA was the absolute total ground zero for every single fake, vicious lawfare and color revolution that happened in President Trump's first term. COVID origins, CIA was funding it. Eric Ciarmella and the leaks about Donald Trump and Ukraine that led to his first impeachment. Oh yeah, that's all CIA, baby. All of the people who signed on to the letter saying that Hunter Biden's laptop had all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. Every one of them, CIA. A lot of them, CIA. Including multiple CIA directors. Oh yeah, Leon Panetta. Ladies and gentlemen, Russiagate was a CIA operation.
Y'all need to crank this thing up, see if it's leaking.
Yeah, we will.
When? Yeah, we need to get this thing crunk up. All right, let me see who this is. All right.
You know that.
Let's do it.
It's clear. CIA's mission is
blowing the leaves off the pad out here
in nature, but it has massive domestic ramifications, and that's what they did. They used the CIA as a pressure point in order to cause horrors.
What's up there, Bubbles? How you doing? Bubbles. Bubbles. Hey, what's going on, Bubbles? Oh, waiting on you to do a show tonight. They're in here talking right now. How many of y'all want to see Bubbles tonight? Raise your hand. Your phone's all messed up. I can't understand you. Yeah, it's cutting out. Your phone's cutting out. So you're gonna do a shower scene? Sexy shower scenes with Stewart, aka Boss. All right, man. Phone cutting out.
Untold on President Trump and his political legitimacy here in this country, and it mustn't ever happen again. You need somebody who is hard AF at that agency to bring it to heel.
No, you need to arrest some people.
Eradicate left-wing extremism and the air that the CIA is there to somehow protect elites in Washington and not the American people. F that. I wrote, I fully support Kash Patel to serve as CIA director in the next Trump administration. Kash has the pedigree. He works as a federal prosecutor and with SEAL Team 6. He's worked in the federal government for 16 years. Kash Patel worked as an investigator in Congress to expose Russiagate, and he's going to finish the job at the CIA because half of what we know about Russiagate still has not been released. Ladies and gentlemen, Kash Patel, most importantly, delivered on President Trump's mission for the military at the Department of Defense, and is probably the number one reason why Donald Trump isn't in prison right now. Let me explain. Kash Patel's the guy who signed the paperwork to approve National Guard troops at the Capitol on January 6th. That's having his boss's back. That's, of course, the right thing to do. That would have prevented any type of knuckleheads or federal agents or rioters from doing anything bad that day. If Kash Patel had gotten his way, there would have been no January 6th at all. Kash is unshakable and has been a major defender of President Trump on this program and others. We love Kash Patel. And so that's my endorsement.
Raising the rookie numbers.
I love this so much because this is the exact reason why Trump won the presidency. I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, it is liberal narcissism like this, which is why Trump is going to be president again. You are not Katniss Everdeen. You have nothing in common with Katniss Everdeen. If Katniss Everdeen existed, she lives in Gaza. All right, she doesn't live in the United States. She doesn't vote in presidential elections. That's a privilege. American women are the most privileged women in human history.
That's right, ladies. Y'all better listen to what the man's saying. Y'all are the most privileged in history. American women.
Full stop.
And I'm talking about the ones with the penis.
American women in the year 2024 are the most privileged women in human history. And you are dressing up like a girl who was raised in a concentration camp because you think you have a relationship to her, but in the reality of the situation is you live in the Capitol, you voted for the person who is continuing the Hunger Games, and you're upset that the other person who's going to continue the Hunger Games won while the Capitol is protected. This is insane.
Yep, we're dealing with a lot of it. And we can see it every day. Yellow. Yellow.
Yeah, I mean,
what you got going on there, Mike? Let me ask you this, Mike. Do you like cows? Mike, do you like cows? Hello? I just asked him, do you like cows? I like cows.
I don't like it when people think they're better.
I'm staggered about how brazen you've been.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't like it when people think they're better than other people. And you see that in Israel, and they're acting like that, and they're treating Palestinians like second-class citizens. They're treating them like subhuman beasts.
Piers Morgan,
and it sells that in their Talmud.
Stump broke bitch.
So it says if you are not a Jew, that you are basically subhuman. And I don't think that Judaism and Christianity go hand in hand. I mean, they believe that Jesus is in hell burning in human shit, and they believe the Virgin Mary is a whore. So I don't think those are two religions that really intersect very well. But, you know, we've been programmed that they do, and we've been programmed that it's okay and that Jews are the chosen people, and I just disagree with that. I think everybody's equal.
Do you even comprehend how this interview is going to play out when it airs?
We don't really care, Pierce.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be bad. But, you know, my opinion is not politically correct, but I believe that is the truth.
You're living in Qatar now.
Well, that's where I'm at right now. I'm not living here, but visiting.
Right, is it the case that you feel safer to spew this kind of stuff from Qatar than you would spewing it in the United States?
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of Jewish people attack me since I started standing up in support of Palestine. When I started saying things that were against Israel, I found that I had my Jewish business manager tried to extort me. I had lawyers do things that were illegal, and you know, I found a lot of, you know, just hatred from the Jewish community because I was speaking out against the genocide, and that really opened my eyes to what's going on.
You know why Jewish
like I
people?
said, rarely is it the case that people on the right side of history are the ones that are trying to silence people.
Yeah, the reason Jewish people may dislike you is because of your obvious hatred for them and everything they stand for. I mean, you've literally spent the last 20 minutes on an anti-Semitic rant that makes Kanye look like a choir boy. I'm staggered, but also bemused as to what you think you'll gain from this, other than you're just laying bare your anti-Semitism for everyone to see.
I don't think I'm going to gain anything. I think it'll be horrible for me. But you know, it's what I believe. I don't think that Jews like Christians, and you see it when they, you know, killed them during the, you know, the Holodomor, the Bolshevik genocide. I mean, the Bolsheviks, the leadership was 84% Jewish, and they were just mass killing Christians, and nobody talks about that.
Let me just ask you one more time. Let me just ask you one more time.
Yeah, Pierce, why don't you say something about that?
Right, let me just ask you one more time, just for clarity. I think you should be honest. But do you hate Jewish people?
No, I don't.
Then why do you spew such hatred about them?
It's facts. It's not hatred.
Well, I don't like what they've done. I don't like what their religion preaches. I don't like what's going on in Israel. I don't like their influence over our government.
Nope.
So, you know.
What do you like about Jewish people?
I mean, I would say on average they're more intelligent.
That's it?
I mean, I don't have too many. I mean, look, you know, there's 2 billion Muslims, but everybody wants to, you know, promote this anti-Muslim, this hatred for Muslim, like they're all, you know, these terrorists. And I think the Israelis are the terrorists. I think they are the ones perpetuating the big acts of terrorism. And, you know, nobody wants to talk about that.
And he can have that opinion. In my opinion, he can have that opinion because it's a First Amendment right.
Heroin, meth, and other.
They and their brand. Might want to get out of the water if you can't swim. What are you doing out there in the water like that? You don't play with water, man. It's like an oil pit. Testosterone is teratogen. What happens to the infant when the women ingest synthetic testosterone and then get pregnant? Chapman. Is that a man having a baby? Instead of condemned as child abuse. Oh, so this is a woman trying to, I'm the first man that's pregnant. No, you're not a man. If you were, you couldn't be having a baby. Your butthole's opening up back here and something's coming out. And that's a look, she's a peeper. Look at her. Come on, push. Push. Push it on out. She's a bald-headed man, too.
Well, the next one you go, yeah, vision, baby. Woohoo! That's straight forward to so baby's going to come up to you and you go, yep, straight up to your chest. Beautiful.
Oh, let's take a picture. Look, we're in the water together. Hello? 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 Yeah, that's child abuse, man. That's just sick. Defense Secretary Tulsi Gabbard, President-elect from Trump's cabinet, pulling out all the stops to block her.
The question that investigators have, I think, is why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to, you're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
Why you held on to the documents?
I was negotiating and we were...
But that's the question that investigators have, I think, is why you held on to those documents when you...
You're idiot.
Is he here? Self-committed? Genius syndrome? Howard Hughes type shit?
Fingers. What's the answer? Never focus on the problem. Look at me. Look beyond the fingers. How many do you see? 8. Yes. 8's a good answer. See what no one else sees. See what everyone else chooses not to see. Fear, conformity, laziness. See the whole world anew. Each day.
This amazing piece of rubber, when applied to your face, can brighten another person's day, even a suffering patient.
Do you want to tell me what it is you think you're doing?
Death is not the enemy. If we're going to fight a disease, let's fight one of the most terrible diseases of all, indifference.
A doctor's mission should be not just to prevent death, but also to improve the quality of life. That's why you treat a disease, you win, you lose. You treat a person, I guarantee you'll win, no matter what the outcome.
Et quand se brisera ta cage, on ira à la fois, on tournera la page et tu seras mon corps.
Thank you.
Patch Adams. Took it in your horse at night. Lay your ass down. Let me get the blanket. You got a pillow out there. That's a horsehair pillow. That's a horsehair pillow. Hold on, my feet's cold. My feet's cold. He ain't stealing nothing no more. He's dead. They say he's alive. I don't know. Get a job. Show a veteran your boobs is the American thing to do. I agree with that.
See an egg turn into a fucking bird. I don't want to see an egg turn into a fucking bird.
Well, that's what the egg turns into if it gets set on long enough.
like these AI videos. They're scaring me. And
Yeah,
some of them
freaky,
are sticking
man.
with me. Mashed potatoes, and now they're polar bears. I do not find this to be adorable. Here we have AI ice cream turning into weird looking bears, and I just don't know why we need this. I cannot love them. I don't want this slimy cat to exist. Stop showing me these.
Yeah, that thing looks like it's been skinned.
Please stop and follow me. I'm delicious. I don't...
That AI shit is crazy, though.
The bad news, and
Front of pressing issues of the day, the way I did with Al Gore at the WEF in three parts. I'm not trying to pay for Twitter.
there is unfortunately a lot of it. But there's a lot of good news as well, and I just want to cover some of it.
Maplethorpe.
Retiring?
Look at this guy's face, man. That's a noble. That's like an elite. He looks like he's retarded.
I don't even think he has a job. He's just a jerk. Goes around the world being a jerk.
World-class jerk.
Maybe he could quit being a jerk.
Is this the man who invented the internet?
Yes and no.
He did invent the internet. No.
No, he didn't actually invent the internet, but yes, this is that.
Whips and chains.
Nobody does.
In my country, we passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which is primarily a climate act.
Up there he goes. Didn't take long, did it? There's the climate. Everybody worry about the climate.
Everybody's worried about the climate.
Freezing last time. I was freezing as well.
Secondly, in Andrew's home country, Australia, the elections changed the climate policy of Australia. And then the elections in Brazil changed the climate policies in Brazil. So there is good news. We do have some momentum. The European Union has been mostly successful in balancing the need to respond to the short-term energy crisis caused by Russia's evil and cruel invasion.
Oh yes, of course, the evil Russians. It was a balmy 75 degrees out. Then the Russians came. Now it's gotten a bit brisk. Russia.
People are familiar with that thin blue line that the astronauts bring back in their pictures from space. That's the part of the atmosphere that has oxygen, the troposphere.
That's the atmosphere that holds everything in from the vacuum out there. That thin blue line thing he's talking. I thought he was talking about the cops, but he wasn't. He was talking about the atmosphere that's holding everything. Vacuum out here. That air is holding everything to Earth. It's a blue marble. Bullshit, Al Gore. Stop lying.
And it's only 5 to 7 kilometers thick. That's what we're using as an open sewer.
I'm pretty sure none of us have ever urinated in the troposphere. We've been to space. Sounds more like you're talking about San Francisco. Texas. I don't know about the troposphere, but I've seen Detroit.
What's a troposphere?
It's a sphere that goes around the tropo all the way around.
Movie Bonhoeffer.
Hey, Jew haters, you can go see Bonhoeffer for free in theaters on November 22nd. Tag any Semite who needs a free ticket.
Tells the story of a moral hero who stood up to Hitler as few did. The movie is a...
Jewish people are always portrayed to be the victim in these old movies like this.
Powerful antidote.
Wonder why that is.
To the rampant anti-Semitism sweeping the world today. Which is why we're doing something a bit unexpected. Announcing free tickets for anti-Semites. That's right. If you're stupid enough to hate Jews for being Jews, you can watch Bonhoeffer completely free. After all, who needs to better understand the evil of anti-Semitism more than anti-Semites? So check out Bonhoeffer today. Though we hope you're the kind of person who will have to pay for your ticket.
Berlin, Sin City, Weimar, Germany. This is where your first transsexual operation happened, was in Weimar. Chapman. What's your name? Paul, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. Thank you for asking. Well, I saw that your website was built by Link Media. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Have you been happy with their service?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, we've been happy with it, man. top notch. Them guys are great.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Ain't no problem, man. Trying to get my business.
Century, a handful of cities.
Who do you think created the transgenders?
Legendary.
Them ones Hitler kicked out.
Fort Carson, Colorado. Been there, trained there.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
This is Grandpa. He's a sniper. On some game.
Holding on the mother right now. Oh.
No, it's not a voice modifier.
Huh?
Where we put a truck at?
Ask Jody and them. Jody and Angel, where they want to put it at?
Or that's my voice.
Ask them. Chapman's.
Got some
depth
to
it. That's it. No, we're in that building. They finna come out there and show you where to put it.
Okay, that's you right here. So I'm in the right place where the car is at?
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
All right.
Nice. Annabelle, Fort Carson, Colorado.
Grandpa was out there sniping the kids. Beware the dog.
All my diamonds shine, cause they really
My daughter gonna love this chip.
Beware the dog. September the 2nd, 1995, a British aerospace Nimrod crashed during a display at the Canadian International Air Show in Toronto, killing all 7 crew members. Aircraft stalled due to a combination of low airspeed and G loading, causing the port wing to drop and bank. Is that part of the show?
That when it swooped over Lake Ontario, then belly flopped into the water.
Belly flop.
That plane sank almost immediately, and when it swooped over Lake Ontario, then belly flopped.
Yeah, that's not supposed to do that. Planes ain't supposed to land like that. If I interview David Duke, I'll get my show canceled. Is he really that bad? Shouldn't I be able to hear for myself what he has to say? Things I've heard him say seem to be pretty on point with shit. Police tried to punch crowd surfer mid-performance, not realizing that he was the band's lead singer. Fuck the police. That's crazy. Oh yeah, he got some. I think they said it was an indictment.
You said, I'm sorry.
Predicted that mass deportations won't happen.
Eric Adams.
I predicted that?
Yes, you said that they won't happen.
Okay, I don't know about predicted, but go ahead.
Well, do you think that they will happen here?
We're going to do everything possible to make sure that people are treated in the dignity and humane way that we've done for these last few years.
Okay, so then my question is, how can migrant New Yorkers be sure that they won't happen here, given that ICE can make arrests in New York City without police cooperation? And then the second question is, why should New Yorkers, including migrant New Yorkers, trust that you will advocate for them with the new Trump administration, given that you have a personal stake in winning the president's favor?
Okay, a couple of things. Do you think every New Yorker believes there should not or should be mass deportation? Do you believe every New Yorker believes that?
No, but you have said you don't think there should be.
But you said, how can I advocate for New Yorkers? So I should only advocate for one type of New Yorker or all New Yorkers?
Well, that's tough. I don't think you can advocate for all New Yorkers.
Oh, really? Okay, so which New Yorker I shouldn't advocate for? The ones that agree with you or disagree with you?
Well, if you believe there should be no mass deportations, how can people believe that you will advocate for that with the incoming Trump administration?
Yeah, but
You set up a question. This is very interesting, the question you set up. So there's certain New Yorkers I shouldn't advocate for?
I'm not sure that was my question. My question was, why should New Yorkers trust that you will advocate for them with the administration?
Let's go back again. There's some New Yorkers, there are people who stop me on the street and says, I voted for the president.
Yeah, no, you're not going to have it all right for everybody. Let's start with this. How about if you broke the law, you're getting out of this country?
Education down, down, deportation. Education down, down, deportation.
Y'all keep singing out there. Y'all dumbasses didn't realize what happened in the last election. We got the House today. That was verified that we control the House now too. Presidency, Senate, and the House. What are y'all doing over on the left? Y'all crying, cutting your hair off.
Message to the man
withholding sex
of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now.
We are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Well, hold up. I thought you just said you've been to the border. See, that's why she didn't win. Right there. That's one of the reasons why she didn't win.
I don't understand the point that you're making.
I hear a lot of people say, the talk of a mass deportation is racist. It's
a lot of these politicians, when they're talking out both sides of their necks, that gives you an idea of who they are. They don't want to answer the question that they're being asked. It's a direct question. And people that give answers that don't directly answer the question, they're fake.
Threatening to the immigrant community. It's not threatening to the immigrant community. It should be threatening to the illegal immigrant community.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating family?
Yeah, we'll pack them all up.
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Yeah, always.
It is not an emergency. We are not facing a crisis.
We have a president of the United States who has created a fiction about a...
Look at that lady's eyebrows right there. They're like way up, like halfway up her forehead.
crisis at the border, and he has...
You think they're real? I don't.
...held up the United States government and its workers around his vanity project called a wall.
To the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
The idea that he is trying to say that we have people that are trying to invade our country to commit mass crime is a crisis of his own making. I specialize in transnational criminal organizations. Yeah. That wall ain't gonna stop them. No.
There's a 600% increase in the sex trafficking of women and children. Border Patrol has arrested more terrorists.
Which one do you think is more serious about the job, her or him?
Coming across the border in 1 month than Trump had in 4 years.
Cackling like a stark raving lunatic.
This is the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever had. Donald Trump would be the president. I'll be in the middle of running the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen.
I am not for a wall.
We don't need to build a wall. This is a crisis of his own making.
The President of the United States has a vanity project that he doesn't want to give up.
A giggler.
It's the President's vanity project. This issue is about a vanity project for this president. Right.
Somebody told her, said, you got your laugh. We love your laugh.
President's vanity project?
Let me be very clear. I'm not going to vote for a wall under any circumstances. It will not end with a wall. It will not end with a wall.
It will not end with a wall?
No.
All right.
He comes back, I come back, we fix this shit.
He wasn't giggling. Becoming a VHF archaeologist out of the necessity it brings on so many feelings. One is to discover what was almost lost, but also I get to see so many personal moments from an era that seems so close but so far away. This was prom in 1988. That had been the year I graduated. Most of those folks are 55 today. I'm 54. It's all right. Woo, what we doing tonight, baby? We're going to the prom, and you might get lucky, Jimmy. I didn't go to my prom, but I did go to 2 other girls' prom. Had my tuxedo on and my tennis shoes. I look good, boy. High top tennis shoes, too. Hold on me. Hold on me. That music back then sucked.
Communicate with President-elect Trump and have communicated with him. Will you express concern about mass deportations in the city?
My concern is one concern, that we keep tinkering around the edges. We keep having this philosophical conversation about it. The voters communicated loudly and clearly. We have a broken immigration system. It needs to be fixed. That's the only conversation I want. It's broken. It needs to be fixed. And New York City was devastated by that broken system. 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers have made their way here. No financial assistance from the administration. I think it was about $200 and something million with billions of dollars we had to pay for. I don't want to see that happen again. I don't want what's taking place in Chicago or in Denver, Los Angeles, Houston. I don't want to see it take place again. Let's fix our immigration system. Anything other than that, I'm not interested in that conversation. We have a broken system. I talked about this in 2022, just as I talked about violence in 2021, and voters made this the top of their list.
Safest subway
the top of their list.
Yeah, okay.
When I was talking about it, everyone was being dismissive of me, and voters said, this is a problem. And if we don't have a conversation about fixing the system, everything else is just being philosophical and theoretical, and I'm just not going to engage in that. Let's fix the system.
To be clear, sir, are you saying leave people here alone, focus on the system, or are you not even engaging on what might happen in the city and just focus on the system fix?
They're going home.
Well, part of it is we need to either pick up the cost. Cities should not be dealing with a national problem.
Should have been a sanctuary city.
We need to pick up the cost. And there are those here, I've said this more than once, there are those here who are repeated offenders. We need to address that. You don't come to our city and our country and commit violence acts on innocent people.
And then I get no bail. Hey, I need y'all to crank this damn tractor up, man. Come on. I don't see him. Hurry up.
I have a right to be here.
Get away!
Don't touch
Police!
me. Don't touch
Yeah,
me.
call the police. Call the
Don't touch me.
Police!
Like you're touching him.
If you're not, you're certainly way too old to be here. Get off my campus.
Let go of my sign.
I have a right to be here.
You have no right to attack us.
Pink shirt.
And tell them what I did. What I do, huh?
And so she's talking to the phone right
Yeah,
now.
what I do.
You attacked us.
She attacked
I attacked y'all. Really?
You
You
attacked
got
us.
cameras.
Cameras don't lie.
Hey, that's an assault.
Go show the police.
Calm down.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Where's the police at? Hi, sir. Here I am. I didn't really do nothing.
Where she ripped the banner off the pole there. She spray painted several signs, destroyed them. She got some spray paint on my hand. Several other people.
Show the hand.
Yeah.
Mr. John, I also got hit too. Looks like she got my suit.
Well, we didn't over.
She got my hand.
It's on your hand too.
Okay, over here.
How you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Okay, I'm Officer Byfield. You guys are being reported right now. So tell me what happened. What do you guys want to do?
To be restituted for the property damage, mostly.
Okay.
So.
By her?
Yeah.
I doubt she'll do that, but I'll ask. All right, she says she's not going to pay for the sign.
Then lock her
You
up.
guys could take it to court, civil court, if you choose to. So you don't have the right to spray paint. And I told her that. I said, you don't have the right to do that. That is wrong.
Then lock her up.
Thank you for coming out and
No problem.
responding.
No problem.
Appreciate
Any
it.
questions?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions?
They lock her up? No.
Hold the phone. Wait.
Santa Trump.
So you're meaning to tell me that Trump posted this?
Hashtag that's checkmate.
But then when you go to his True Social, you can't find it. According to somebody who commented on one of the posts on Twitter about this, said that he deleted it 17 minutes after he posted it, which would make it 5:27 p.m. on the day that he posted it. Of course, the hashtag symbol, the explanation is behind me. It's checkmate move. For example, QG3 checkmate. But I have this, and I've had this saved in my archives for quite a while now. Check this shit out. This one says Q Fox 3. QF3. Checkmate move. I can't show you what's behind me on this because it does have a derogatory word TikTok doesn't like. So I'm just going to keep my big fat head in the middle of it because, you know, a lot of people love it when I cover shit up. I heard that a lot. But the thing of it is, guys.
Frozen.
Q.
Danielle.
We all know what Q is. Of course, a lot of people want to know who Q is.
Y'all hit the thumbs up when
Some
y'all in
of
there.
us have an idea of who it is.
Or
It
the
is
thumbs
some
down.
military, I'm going to tell you that. But there's a couple other people that are behind the Q movement. You know, Trump is Q++, and, you know, we got good old McAfee and Isaac Cappy, Barron, Clooney. There's some others. We're just the light workers. That's what we are. That's all we are. But
10
the ones
people,
that are
5
behind it,
guns.
there's not
Somebody
very
ain't doing
many.
something.
But we have an idea.
Somebody ain't doing something.
But it's just interesting. Q Fox 3. And this one says QG3. Pretty much what he posted there is that it's done. Now, a lot of people have been skeptical about, you know, things not happening and shit like that. And we always say just because you don't see it happening doesn't mean it's not, right? We always say the same things. Just keep your mind open. Well, guess what? People have been noticing. Gas prices are dropping. Food prices are dropping. I just saw a video not too long ago about a guy that was videoing, what was it, meat? It was $4 for over a pound of meat. $4. What was one of the things that Trump said when he gets back in office? He was going to lower prices and slash inflation. Well, I'll be goddamned. He hasn't even been inaugurated yet. The case has been brought up. Jack Smith's has been dropped. People are standing down. And of course, you know, the riots are going on.
Some guys in charge.
Things are going on.
Hello? What's up? Hey. Hello? Yeah, they're working on it. They said it was a wheel seal. Yeah, when they get through it, they'll give you a call. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. The guy that's in charge of the church over there in England, he stepped down today. Something about a child, something. I don't know.
Volcanoes are erupting. Fires are happening. There's a hurricane headed towards Florida right now. Guys, in all reality, if you want to know what the true number of votes Trump got, it was over 130 million. 130 million votes that man had. If you go through his True Social and his Twitter, you'll see that he's been watching the elections in real time. I explained this on one of my old accounts. Donald Trump designed and built the Dominion voting machine back in the 1980s. He's been watching the elections happening in real time. That's why he knew in 2020 what was going to happen. He watermarked the ballots. So when they went through the machines, he knew they were legit or not. He knew they were switching votes. He set up cameras at all the ballot box drops. He set up cameras at all the counting stations. He watched it. That's why he went golfing that weekend. Because he knew it was going to happen. There is no fucking way in hell that Biden got 81 million votes. And then 20 million votes dropped out from 2020 to now. Come on. Bruh. And then to top it all off, you got this fucking 4B shit going on. They're making bracelets and tattoos and shaving heads and everything else. The blue hairs, you guys knew what to look for. Now you know what to look for. But be careful because you don't know if somebody has alopecia or cancer or anything like that. So just don't go assuming that everybody that doesn't have hair is a part of that movement. Feels a little cultish to me. But I'm a proud member of Cult 45, not gonna lie. But here's the thing. Just because you don't see it happening doesn't mean it's not happening. A lot of shit has happened behind the scenes since 2016 or before. Because you gotta remember, Trump is a general. And the only one that can actually make stuff happen is a general. So the people that you've been seeing have been gone a lot longer than you think. They were allowed to serve terms, but they only served one. Timing, plans, strategies. Everything had to happen the way it had to happen. You smell that? That's victory and freedom. God, it's good to be alive right now. It's a good time to live. And to all those that we have lost in the past, may you rest in peace. But I know you're watching this. And I know you're damn proud. We got you. Toodles.
Toodles.
Manufacturing once again as it did when I was running things. You
I like
remember when
him
they
doing
used
all
to say
these
you can't
things
have
about what he's gonna
manufacturing
do.
jobs in our
All these
country anymore. I
videos.
said, really, why? And we created hundreds of thousands of them.
It's like Christmas every day,
But
man.
we must be the most affordable energy and electricity place anywhere on the planet. We have to have affordable energy. Right now we have energy that's weak, substandard, and unaffordable. It's made by the wind. The windmills rust, they rot, they kill the birds. It's the most expensive energy there is. And we have other things that are also no good. It's called the Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Hoax. One of the reasons manufacturing jobs were flooding back into the United States when I was president was that we dramatically reduced energy costs. Sadly, crooked Joe Biden sacrificed this tremendous economic advantage on the altar of the Green New Deal, perhaps because he was bribed by Communist China or because Communist China knows all of the money that they've paid him. We have a Manchurian candidate. That's what he is. He's a Manchurian candidate. They know everything about him, and he's scared stiff. He won't do a thing. I take in hundreds of billions of dollars from China, and Joe Biden's afraid to even talk to him. Biden's war on American energy has sent prices soaring, and his latest actions will make it catastrophically worse. It's going to be bad at a level that we've never seen. This will be so bad. Under Biden's newly proposed power plant regulations, most natural gas and coal plants will be forced to shut down. By the way, they tried that in Germany, and now they're going back and building coal plants all over the place because they've destroyed Germany. They have no energy. So Germany now is building a coal plant every 2 weeks. And China is building a coal plant every week, every single week. They're putting up a new coal plant. And we're playing games with the wind. This is terrible what's happening to our country. There is nothing to replace our energy at this time, not even close. It's very expensive and it's very weak. It doesn't have the power to power up those big plants that you see. At the same time as Biden is shutting down existing power plants, he also wants to force hundreds of millions of Americans into ultra expensive electric vehicles. They cost twice as much as what you have. And what you have is better, and it goes a lot longer. And it's a lot easier to fill up. And we have liquid gold under our feet at a level that no other country has. But they'll strain the grid to the breaking point. It already is at a breaking point. If you look at California, it's got brownouts and blackouts every single day. People can't turn on their air conditioners. And it'll drive electricity prices into the stratosphere. If Biden's policies go forward, our electricity costs will be the highest on earth. They're already very close. With shortages, blackouts, and crippling inflation, U.S. manufacturing will be dead, absolutely dead, and China will be laughing all the way to the bank. They will end up controlling the world. My plan is the exact opposite. As president, I will set a national goal of ensuring that America has the #1 lowest cost of energy of any industrial country anywhere on earth. I want to be #1. We were energy independent just 3 years ago, and now we're begging Venezuela for their oil, and yet we have many times more than any other country. There's no country, Saudi Arabia, Russia, no country has what we have. We will develop the liquid gold that is right under our feet, including American oil and natural gas, and we will also embrace nuclear, clean coal, hydropower, which is fantastic, and every other form of affordable energy to get it done. We will not only match China, we will be cheaper than China by a lot, and more energy will mean lower inflation, and it'll mean more jobs. I will cancel Biden's ruinous power plant rule, terminate his electric vehicle mandate. If you want to buy an electric car, that's fine, but you're going to be able to buy every other form of car also. And unleash domestic energy production like never before. But just think of it, energy independence 3 years ago, energy dominance was going to follow very shortly. We're going to pay off our debt, we're going to lower taxes for everybody. And they ended that, immediately ended it. First day, they ended it. I will fully modernize the electric grid to prepare it for the next 100 years, implement rapid approvals for energy projects, and greenlight the construction of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of brand new beautiful power plants that actually work. This will pave the way for an enormous growth in American wealth. In the future, every manufacturing plant, every data center, every semiconductor facility and assembly line will want to be built in America. They're all going to want to be in America, so we're going to have the lowest cost of energy. It's a big factor. This will be the place where the cost of energy is lower than any place else on earth, where the economy is stronger than any place else on earth, and where the workers are the best, brightest, and most talented anywhere in the world. I want to thank you very much. We cannot let this man who is diminished mentally and physically, but much worse mentally, we cannot let him tell us what to do with our country. He has no clue. He can't put two sentences together. We have to make America great again, and we can't do it with a man who's severely diminished. Thank you very much.
The major central banks of the globe are owned by a handful of families. That's why the head of the private Federal Reserve last week, Jerome Powell, pledged to try to block Trump's agenda and said that even if Trump tries to fire him, he won't leave because he is above the law. They are a private agency.
Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally you're not required to leave?
No.
Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take.
But Congress created the private agency of the Federal Reserve and can revoke their charter and abolish them. And that's why it's so exciting to see former Congressman Ron Paul coming in to advise the administration on monetary policies and to also dismantle the Federal Reserve. But that's where all this predatory garbage comes from. It's where the ESGs come from. It's where the global governance comes from, the corporate social credit scores, all of it. And President Trump is striking right at the heart of it, going after their predatory loans. Now, in closing here, InfoWars is set to be sold at auction Wednesday, coming up in less than 48 hours. If good guys don't buy it, we will be shut down.
$1 billion to house illegal aliens and foreign migrants in expensive luxury hotels, courtesy of you, the American taxpayer, and they want to spend billions and billions more. In many states, we're running out of hotel space because the rooms are all booked up with illegal aliens living in a very large way on the American taxpayer's dime. Meanwhile, we have 33,000 veterans in this country who are homeless and living very poorly, I might add, and it's a shame. They're living in filth and squalor on our streets. Nobody is doing a thing for them. We helped them a lot during my 4 years, and it's all been dropped. Everything we did for our veterans has been dropped. It's a disgrace. Joe Biden puts illegal aliens before
what's going on?
Veterans, and
hit
we
the thumbs
cannot
up
let
button
this
if you're coming in
happen
here.
any longer. The American veteran is one of our greats. These are great, great people. We have to take care of them. On day one, I will sign an executive order to cut off Joe Biden's massive spigot of funding for shelter and transport of illegal aliens and redirect a portion of those savings, a very large portion, I might add, to provide shelter and treatment for homeless American veterans. I will make it a personal mission to totally eradicate veterans' homelessness in America by the end of next term. You'll see a big difference, just like you did at the VA, just like you did with, frankly, everything we touched. The border was the best border we've ever had. We were energy independent. We were soon going to be energy dominant. Our country was doing great. We had no inflation. We had the best economy in history. We're going to take care of our veterans. If you have served this nation in uniform, the Trump administration will never betray you as Joe Biden and the radical left Democrats have done. They have truly betrayed you. Anybody voting for a Democrat is very foolish, very, very foolish. We certainly will not be putting illegal alien lawbreakers up in ultimate luxury while American veterans lay shivering on the sidewalks below. Unlike Biden, our loyalty will not be to illegal aliens who have violated our borders and come into our country illegally. They've trampled our sovereignty. It will be to the brave men and women who enlisted their lives to defend our borders and to protect our sovereignty. Thank you very much. We're going to take care of our veterans.
Now is the time to wear Trump gear, and we've got the best designs at the Alex Jones.
One day you're gonna wake up, and when you
necessary. One day you're gonna wake up, and when you do, you'll know that your favorite artist, your favorite actor, your favorite sports figure, your favorite politician is all in on it. These people are all sick, and they have been putting it in our faces for years, and we just haven't figured it out. But see, there came a movement that told everybody to go ahead and dig and do some research. And boy, did we ever. We found out some scary things that humans have been doing to other humans for years and years and years. And it's sickening. We tried to tell everybody what was really going on.
Hit the thumbs up over there.
No one wanted to listen.
Share it out.
Instead, their life goes on being oblivious to everything around them. All the symbols, all the stories, right in their faces. And this year, 2024, it's finally getting exposed to the masses. And with exposure comes excuses. Your favorite artist or actor or sports figure,
my little rubber case around
say,
my phone.
that's not me in the video, it's AI generated.
Thumbs
and this
up.
time, you may still believe them, but you'll look into it. And when you find out the truth of what these people have been doing to other human beings, our little ones, it'll make you sick.
Yep.
And once you go through that phase of sickness, you'll get angry. And then anger will turn into, well, why aren't we doing anything about it? And then that will turn into, why isn't anyone doing anything about it? And then you realize they're all in on it. That's why no one's doing anything about it. We've been lied to our whole lives about everything. And when you finally wake up and accept everything for what it is, then what you're going to do is you're going to join forces with us. And we're going to tell you to join us. And we're not going to judge because we were right there with you 5 years ago. Welcome aboard.
Across North Carolina on Friday the 15th. Families staying in these shelters are being told if you don't have a safe place to take your children, you won't be leaving with them. The authorities will keep them. I need you to share, repost, and watch this whole video. These families need our help. This isn't just hearsay. I have confirmed it with the Department of Family Services and Red Cross volunteers. If you are at risk of being separated from your children or know anyone who is, contact me immediately. I am working with multiple organizations and have hundreds of individuals ready and willing to open their homes to families in need, as well as organizations willing to help on the legal side of things. Losing your children or separating families isn't an option. I will do everything in my power to help find you a safe place so you can stay together. It might not be ideal, but being with your children is what matters most. Now, if you are willing to help a family in need or if you know of a place that is sheltering families, please get in contact with me. I'm currently compiling a list of organizations and individuals willing to help. Share this far and wide. Let's get these families the help they need. AP out.
Who is he? I don't know who he is. Who are you talking about? Who is who?
Opened a window onto something most of us know very little about. The Jewish community of the
The Jewish, you talking about the ones that were selling slaves?
Civil War South. As it turns out, Mobile was one of its hubs. The city had a small Jewish population, only about 100 people as of 1860. Nevertheless, the community had planted roots and even built their own house of worship. Temple Shari Shomayim.
Wow, there's a temple in Mobile, Alabama.
It was founded in 1844.
Holy mackerel.
You recognize any
Yeah,
names?
Sure, Henry Bernstein.
Yeah, they were members of the congregation.
Wow.
That is where your ancestors worshipped.
Holy. All right, this is getting cool.
To this point, the story of the Bernstein family had been totally unexpected. But what we discovered next was a plot twist so absurd, it seemed like something
they own the
Larry
slave
David
ships.
himself might have dreamed of.
H. Bernstein, Private, Captain, Charles A. Hertz Company, appears on payroll of the organization from March 26, 1862. Are you telling me that my great-grandfather fought for the South in the Civil War? What? Are you kidding? See that? Now that's something. That's something. That's mind-blowing to me. I can't believe it. That's, wow.
You're looking at a Civil War muster roll.
Wow.
In 1862, your great-great-grandfather signed up to fight for the Confederacy.
All right.
In all,
Chapman.
only about 3,000 Jewish men served in the Confederate military, and Henry Bernstein
Chapman.
was one of them. Larry seemed
Hello.
to be struggling to wrap his head around the story.
This is just such an odd combination on my father's side of the Germany and the South.
Yeah.
Two places that we have fought against as a country.
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness. I hope no slaves show up on this.
Please turn the page. Now, Larry, this is another part of the 18th.
Oh, you did it! You did it! I knew it!
Their voice, man, their inflection of their voices.
Unbelievable!
Unbelievable.
Boy!
That's unbelievable.
Oh boy! Name of the slave owner! Henry Bernstein! My great-grandfather was a slave owner!
You owe some reparations there, Larry.
slaves, one female, age 4, mulatto, one female, age 17, mulatto. Oh, Professor.
He already knew this shit. He already knew this shit.
I'm so sorry. You can see why my father didn't want to tell me anything about his family.
That's called
I don't know where you got this stuff. This is really incredible.
Isn't that amazing?
Holy cow.
Always look for why branches disappear. You think, embarrassed when something happens,
Yeah.
we don't talk about it.
Right. That's amazing. Well, Henry Bernstein, I hope you're proud of yourself.
Does it change the way you feel about your ancestors or whether you think about the Civil War?
It's definitely food for thought. I don't know. It hasn't all sunk in yet. I don't know. I tend to just take things in. I'm a bit of a stoic in a way. You know, I don't
he knew
sit with
exactly what
stuff
his family
for too
did.
long, and things don't impact me a lot. But this has had just an effect on me. I mean, the whole German thing and the Southern thing, it's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Confederacy.
Yeah, great grandfather owned slaves.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
What part of the Jewish experience is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Chapman.
Yeah.
The complexity of history comes alive when you do someone's family tree, and you can't make up the peculiarity of these individual examples.
Yeah.
Because when you read a textbook, your family wouldn't be in the textbook because they don't fit.
Exactly.
Yeah, 23andMe was a scam because they were looking for somebody.
Is running a non-stop conveyor belt importing illegal aliens from all over the world into our country.
They oh shit. Oh, that's Nick Fuentes. Maria Rose releases a video of Nick Fuentes pepper spraying her. They doxed him.
And the
Hi. Oh my God, what are you doing?
fuck out of here.
He pepper sprayed her ass.
Hi. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Only the real conspiracy theorists will understand. The needle marks in the tomatoes and stuff. Where they're putting the mRNA shit in the fruit.
Υπάρχει μία και μοναδική τρύπα. Σε όλη την ντομάτα, η ντομάτα είναι μια χαρά, έτσι, κοιτάξτε εδώ πέρα. Τι γίνεται. Πάμε τώρα στα μάγκο. Κοιτάξτε εδώ τι γίνεται. Έλα τώρα. Αυτό εδώ θέλει πολύ παραπληκτικό μάτι. Κοιτάξτε εδώ. Είναι πολιασμένα. Το βλέπετε έτσι. Ενώ όλος από όλες τις πλευρές είναι μια χαρά. Και όμως υπάρχει μόνο μία και μοναδική τρύπα. Κοιτάξτε. Λοιπόν,
Where they're putting the vaccine in all the food. You got a fan right there. She like that. Hell yeah.
Years, I was saying not one of the 72 vaccines mandated for children has ever been safety tested in pre-licensing placebo-controlled trials. Not one. Tony Fauci was saying he's lying. In 2016, President Trump appointed me to run a vaccine safety commission. And he ordered Fauci and Collins to meet with me with White House counsel present. And I said to Fauci at that meeting, you say I'm lying. For 8 years, you've been saying I'm lying about this. Show me the study. And he said, I don't have it here. It's back in Bethesda. And I'll send it to you. I never got it. So I sued him. Me and Aaron Siri, and after stonewalling us for a year, their lawyers met us on the courthouse steps and said, yup, you're right. We never had any study. And they gave it to us in writing. You can go to the CHD website, my website, and you can see that letter from HHS. There's no downstream liability. There's no front-end safety testing. That saves them $250 million. And there's no marketing and advertising costs because the federal government is ordering them ordering 78 million school kids to take that vaccine every year. What better product could you have? And so there was a gold rush to add all these new vaccines to the schedule that we don't need. Most of these vaccines are unnecessary. Many of them are for diseases that are not even casually contagious. It was a gold rush. Because if you get onto that...
I seen a commercial the other night where John Legend was talking about getting another vaccine, another booster shot. What the hell are you talking about, man? Are you not hearing this shit?
Schedule, the recommended schedule, it's $1 billion a year for your company. And in many cases, NIH is carrying the royalties. So we got all of these new vaccines, 72 shots, 16 vaccines, and now even more because we're doing the HPV vaccine.
Yeah, HPV.
And that year, 1989, we saw an explosion in chronic disease in American children. The neurological diseases suddenly exploded in 1989. ADD, ADHD, sleep disorders, language delays, ASD, autism, Tourette syndrome, tics, narcolepsy. These are all things that I never heard of. Autism went from 1 in 10,000 in my generation, according to the CDC data, to 1 in every 34 kids today.
1 in every 34.
Transition of power.
President Biden says that he's not going to pardon his son, Hunter. Is he going to ask Donald Trump to do that?
I don't have anything else to share about that. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole on this. I've been very clear. The president's been very clear when we've been asked this question.
And we know that at some point during the last Trump transition, then President Obama warned Trump that the biggest threat to the U.S. at the time was North Korea. Is President Biden going to run through what he sees the biggest threats to the country are with Donald Trump?
I am not going to get into a specific agenda of what they're going to
Trump
discuss.
supposed to meet with him tomorrow?
And this is very much to the question that I got from MJ. What does the president what's the message he wants to send tomorrow? And it is to the American people. The importance of keeping the norms, the importance of having a transition that is going to be efficient. This is what the American people deserve. And that's the message. And I think when you all come into the Oval Office tomorrow, you do the pool spray, you capture that moment. That is an important message to send to the American people. That's what the president cares about. I'm not going to get into details about any conversation or agenda.
And we know that today, a week after the election, President Biden and Vice President Harris had a private lunch. How awkward was that?
I don't even understand. Why would it be awkward?
Because
the
president got squeezed out for her, and then she kept him at arm's length, and then she lost, and now she's back.
Why would you characterize it as awkward? They have regular lunches. They meet and talk regularly. Why would you call it awkward?
So there's no weirdness about the way that things have unfolded since
Did you see them?
paper.
Did you see them together yesterday as well when they honored our veterans and were together during the day, making sure that we didn't forget the brave men and women that fought for this country? Did you see them together yesterday? Did you see the show of force together? This is.
Yeah, I think it was get roll eyes at it
I'm
when
not
he
even going
talked.
to take the premise of the question. What I will say is the president and the vice president had lunch today. They've had lunch many times. They have, they communicate with each other regularly. They had an opportunity to discuss the last 70 days or so of this administration, how important it is to get things done for the American people.
Twitter.
And that's their focus. That is generally their focus.
Wife was in charge of that shit.
Yes, Patsy.
Thank you, Corinne. On his spray with President...
Oh, he tore it up. He cut it loose. Oh, yeah. It was wet, too.
As I bring on Congresswoman Maloney, I want to join the distinguished chairman in acknowledging legislation of other members of Congress that are contained in the chairman's legislation that they are putting forth, and chairwoman's. And I also want to acknowledge Maxine Waters is doing some very important work on this subject, not part of this package, but part of preserving our democracy. democracy. With that, I'm pleased to yield to the distinguished chairwoman of the Government Forum.
Smartest man in the world says Zionist bankers are genociding whites. Chris Langan, the guy with the highest ever recorded IQ, 195 to 210, is talking about the Great Replacement, but don't just trust an appeal to authority. Watch the video. Well, I could have told you that. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. How can you tell it, Jamie? Just things I see. Just things I see. Hello. Hello. Hey. Well, he didn't come in today, so I'm waiting to him to come up here so I can talk to him about it. So as soon as he gets up here, I'm going to talk to him and find out what he wants to do with it.
Get elected president. I think foreign accents are so attractive, and I was really hoping that if Kamala won election, that she'd come out with like a TED Talk or something that was gonna.
I ain't had one today. Only thing we had was that water pump. That was from last night.
Show us how she does it. As college students at Oklahoma State University, I was
We had a
really
wheel
looking
seal
forward
come
to
back.
having
We had to
female
redo a wheel
leader who
seal.
truly understands just how stupid college age voters are.
On a dually.
I mean, it's not like we mean anything or add anything to the society anyways. I really wanted Kamala over Trump because I think it's stupid that some
I'm just
people
waiting on
believe
what's called
the president of the
keep me up
country,
about bringing that
our
truck up
country
here,
should
throwing that
have
truck up here.
discernment. You know,
We got
something
that,
like the
we got
Holy
that
Spirit
cylinder
or
and
something,
everything.
telling them,
They're out there putting that
guiding them
backhoe
on
back together now.
how they're gonna rule our country and make those decisions. Wait, what's the Holy Spirit?
But yeah, I give you a call in the morning when I talk to him, or if I get a service call tonight, down your way. All right. All right. I'll holler at you. Okay. Bye. Brunson decision, we've known this for quite a while. Sunday 10, November 2024, Lloyd Brunson has signed an NDA. A verdict has been reached which shows SCOTUS Thomas indicated was in his favor. The military has not released a verdict of the Supreme Court yet to prevent civil unrest. It really did happen. Trump will officially be put back in office before January 20th. So that Brunson case is still going on, or apparently they reached a decision.
People. It is a direct line to Team Trump where Americans can go and propose certain policies that they think would be beneficial to the American people, and then Americans get to vote on it. Let me show you how it works. So you go to the website, you sign up for
How about term limits?
an account, and then you can start proposing bills and voting for some, like single issue bills for Congress, term limits for senators and representatives.
Yeah.
There's also one of my favorites, ban artificial food dyes. There's some other ones down here that I think are really cool. Insurance for holistic health. Forbid TV drug commercials. You can also go to the left over here and go to different categories. I clicked on health, and then you can find all the different ones on health, and you can vote and also propose. Without even being elected yet, this administration is giving the American people their voices back, which is so cool and gives me so much hope. RFK Jr. just started.
I'm really excited to see what he's going to do for the next few years. I think he's going to kill it. Every single thing he does, he puts 100% of his effort into it, and I think he's going to do an amazing job, and he deserves this more than anyone in the whole world, and he's going to kill it and make America great again, and he's really going to do what's right for the people, and
And I just want to say, the nature of this conversation, we should be assuming good intentions on both sides of the issue. Parker, your question is aimed to make us look like bad guys. That does not do good things for our country. That is why we are so divisive. That's why there are families that are dividing, because we're calling each other bad people, as opposed to just, oh, they have a different outlook on things. They have a different view on things. Maybe they have a different voting philosophy. Maybe for you, you don't want to vote for a convicted felon. But in our opinion, he's not actually a convicted felon, and so we're going to vote for him. Or he's not actually guilty of that crime. But the point is, we can go back and forth accusing each other of you're a bad person or you're a bad person. That doesn't do anything for the conversation. It doesn't do anything for our viewers. Let's actually go back to the issues. Let's go back to policies instead of silly questions trying to make us seem like bad guys.
And the people on the right seem to have more common sense about things, like that guy.
Not get a DUI on a horse in the state of North Carolina. Look it up. Now, I can get a DUI when I do my budget, but I cannot get a DUI on a horse. I was watching this YouTube. You cannot get a DUI on a horse in the state of North Carolina. Look it up. Now, I can get a DUI when I do my budget, but I cannot get a DUI on a horse. I was watching this YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about. Get me a horse. Tommy.
Day. And this morning I had the opportunity to go up to the Cove at the Billy Graham Training Center. It's about 3.
They're building tiny houses for people up there. I seen this morning they were going into Gracie Mansion and said they were getting his ass up. Uh-oh. Somebody's girlfriend's mad.
Oh, no. This is I'm not getting nobody in here. Jesus Christ. Good luck to him.
Americans have been horrified to see students and faculty at Harvard and other once respected universities expressing support for the savages and jihadists who attacked Israel. We spend more money on higher education than any other country.
He's not convicted yet.
They're turning our...
And I think that judge up in New York put off the sentencing.
Students into communists and terrorists and sympathizers of many, many different dimensions. We can't let this happen. It's time to offer something dramatically different. Under the plan I'm announcing today, we will take the billions and billions of dollars that we will collect by taxing, fining, and suing excessively large private university endowments, and we will then use that money to endow a new institution called the American Academy. Its mission will be to make a truly world-class education available to every American, free of charge, and do it without adding a single dime to the federal debt. This institution will gather an entire universe of the highest quality educational content covering the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills, and make that material available to every American citizen online for free. Whether you want lectures or ancient histories or an introduction to financial accounting or training in a skilled trade, the goal will be to deliver it and get it done properly, using study groups, mentors, industry partnerships, and the latest breakthrough in computing. This will be a truly top-tier education option for the people. It will be strictly non-political, and there will be no wokeness or jihadism allowed. None of that's going to be allowed. Most importantly, the American Academy will compete directly with the existing and very costly four-year university system by granting students degree credentials that the U.S. government and all federal contractors will henceforth recognize. The Academy will award the full and complete equivalent of a bachelor's degree. In addition, to help the 40 million Americans who have some college education but no degree, the American Academy will grant credit for past coursework at legacy institutions and give you the chance to complete your education at the American Academy for free and much more quickly than is now possible or available. This will be a revolution in higher education and will provide life-changing opportunities for tens of millions of our citizens. Enjoy it, learn from it, and thank you.
I'm gonna get me what kind of degree you gonna get, Jamie? I'm gonna be what do they call him? A gynecologist. That's what I'm gonna become. I'm gonna get a degree in becoming a gynecologist. Netherlands News, Elon Musk.
In danger.
because people are desperate, right? So they want World War III. They want war with Iran. That writing's been on the wall for 3 years, okay? They love...
Yeah, millions and millions of followers, let that sink in.
I believe that those who continue to promote either side of the corporate media machine or the corporate uniparty circus are only here to protect their own fame and their fortune in this world while suppressing what they know to be true about all these psychopaths, whether you're talking about Kamala Harris or whether you're talking about Barack Obama or Joe Biden or Donald Trump. And one of those people that I suspect is not stupid, but is still promoting the left versus right paradigm lie, which leads to destruction, which leads to tyranny. I don't care if it's red tyranny or blue tyranny, it's still tyranny. This is one of those psychological operators. I can't help but think Matt Walsh is one of those psychological operators, like the psychological operators and propagandists we see on the left side of statism. But he's a psychological operator nonetheless, who's constantly striving to sow division and drive a wedge in between Americans. If America falls, the world is pretty much gone. I'm going to go over this video right here by Matt Walsh. He says, I don't want to get too sappy, but I felt moved to give this word of encouragement to Kamala voters today.
Yeah,
Listen to
this is my word of encouragement for y'all dumbasses. If y'all are retarded.
You've got a big following, 30-odd million people on
went
Instagram.
hard
But just
on
to
this
say, well, I
interview
read
with
somewhere there were
Morgan.
no rapes and abuse would go against your own narrative. Would that be fair?
Damn Brazilian.
Simwa, you were lauding him as a hero.
Hamas is a resistance organization. Israel is a terrorist. Every single person that's been critical of Israel has either been killed or thrown out of power. And I don't think that that is a coincidence. I mean, as a veteran where I really have, huge problems with this.
What do you mean the Jews killed JFK?
Today, a lot of conspiracy theories have all come true. I believe that Jewish supremacy is the greatest threat to the world today.
It sounds to me, Dan, like you do actually hate Jewish people.
If you say anything about Jewish people, you get canceled.
I'm honestly gobsmacked.
I don't have a hatred for Jewish people.
You obviously do. I'm staggered about how brazen you've been. Makes Kanye look like a choir boy.
Yeah, I just don't really give a shit.
You don't care.
Henry VIII, Arthur at the Round Table, Elvis Presley. History and popular culture has given us many famous kings. None of them quite like Dan Bilzerian, known to millions of people as the king of Instagram. A superstar poker player, he racked up a vast following by documenting his unfettered hedonism, a lifestyle of beautiful women on beautiful yachts and beautiful places. Some say he was Andrew Tate before Andrew Tate, but Dan Bilzerian says that life is behind him now. The king is dead. He's back with a new outlook, a new agenda, and some very controversial opinions. So Dan Bilzerian, first of all, welcome to Uncensored. I kind of feel if I'd interviewed you 4 years ago, we'd have had a very different interview. You were at the height of your kind of hedonistic Instagram life. There were women everywhere, yachts everywhere, guns everywhere, drugs everywhere. It was a very different lifestyle to the one you have now. So my first question is, who is the new Dan Bilzerian, and why have you given up the other guy?
Who owns the porn industry? Yep.
Well, I think I took hedonism to the end of the earth, and I just realized that it didn't bring me happiness, so I started focusing on things that I like to do and did less of that.
I read that you were at your peak with the women, for example. If you only slept with 2 women a day, you thought that was a disappointing off day. And now you're down to just 1 woman. That's a pretty dramatic shift in your lifestyle, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it was up to 9 at one day at one point, and it was just, it was a lot. I think a lot of that is probably fueled by insecurity from high school, not getting as many women as I wanted, and like I said, I just kind of took the pleasure seeking to the end of the earth, and with pleasure, I think it's kind of functions like a drug to where you need more to get the same feeling, and then eventually you have to do it to not feel like shit, and so, yeah, I just cut off the hedonism.
You even disappeared from Instagram for nearly a year. You only came back in May. Why did you do that? What was going on in your world in that period?
Well, I mean, I was writing a book. I think that was a, big focus, and that took a lot of time. And then I was just pretty much over it. I looked at social media like a video game that I beat and that, everybody else wanted to play, and I was just kind of tired of playing. And
The only reason I really came back was because I felt like I had this big platform and I really disagreed with what was going on in Israel, that we were funding this genocide, and so I felt like I had an obligation to use my platform to say what I thought was right.
I'm going to come to Israel because you've said a lot of controversial things about that war. But before we get there, I just want to just explore a little bit more your decision to kind of renounce the king lifestyle. And I think I'm right in saying that you kind of worked out, you have all the money in the world.
Amazing.
But ultimately, if you don't work out what actually makes you happy, you're not going to be happy. Did you work out, other than not leading life to excess, did you work out the little things in life?
This is 33 minutes. I'll listen to it later on.
Genocide.
I'm not an international human rights lawyer, so I can't talk about the absolute definitions, but it's difficult to find another word for it, given what we've seen. And,
I'm getting go.
And I certainly think that the Palestinian people feel that that's what's happening to them, and there's a sense of resignation that they're all just waiting to die with no chance of escape. So, yes. What I think I found particularly disturbing was that a bomb would drop maybe on a crowded, tented area, and then the drones would come down and...
Please take your time. We're incredibly grateful that you're making the time to be here today, and I can only imagine just how it has impacted you and will continue to impact you. And I feel, because you can't unsee what you've seen, but being able to share that with us really helps us hold legislators particularly to account. So we do appreciate the time that you're making for us today. Thank you.
So the drones would come down and pick off civilians, children, and we had description after description. This is not, an occasional thing. This was day after day after day, operating on children who would say, I was lying on the ground after a bomb had dropped, and this quadcopter came down and hovered over me and shot me. And that's clearly a deliberate act, and it was a persistent act, persistent targeting of civilians day after day. We had 1 or 2 mass casualty incidents every day.
Ambulances being targeted, did you feel safe?
I felt relatively safe in the sense that I thought it was unlikely they'd drop a 2,000-pound bomb directly on the hospital. But we were worried about drones, couldn't leave the hospital, and travelling in and out was probably the most nerve-wracking thing. So we travelled in and out on a UN convoy in armoured vehicles. That's been shot at 5 times by the Israelis. And these are convoys that are very carefully organised, so they follow a predetermined route given to them by the Israeli army. There's a radio check at the start before they leave, during the journey and at the end, so the Israeli army know that they're there and where they are. And despite that, 5 times, including while we were there, they've been shot at. So my biggest fear while I was there was being killed by the Israelis.
The convoys that were shot at, was this sort of a rogue sniper, or was this...
No, this is the Israeli army coming up as a unit and deliberately shooting. And
UN convoy?
Yes. So the last one, when I was there, I think it would have been about the end of August, was reported some WHO staff, and these are armoured vehicles, so you can see, I think, 4, 5 bullet marks in the window, just where someone would have been sitting. We were told, given very clear instructions, the doors are going to be locked when you set off. Do not unlock the doors if the Israeli army shoot at you and order you out. Do not get out of the vehicle. This is a UN convoy. It's got UN in big letters on the side, and it carries in twice a week. It carries about 30 to 40 aid workers from different organizations in and out. It's, a huge number of aid workers have been targeted, and that's well documented, and again, to my mind, that's a deliberate.
Well, he's looking for you. Yep, they was looking for you, Donnie. We had a shitload of police over there this morning in the parking lot next door. There's probably about 8 cars over there. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Teacher cut student's hair while singing national anthem is arrested.
It's the teacher freakout the whole country is talking about. 52-year-old chemistry teacher
What do you want to bet she voted for Kamala?
Margaret Giesinger sings the national anthem while cutting a student's hair.
By the twilight!
The student can't believe what's happening.
Next! I'm not done.
That's when Giesinger turns her scissors on a young lady who flees before any hair is cut.
Oh, Miss Jean!
Total chaos ensues. The whole class runs for the exit, and the teacher ended up getting arrested for alleged child endangerment. Today, she is still behind bars. I spoke with her husband, Peter, about the bizarre episode.
What would possess your wife to do such a thing?
This is beyond, anything I could imagine her doing. Something happened to her stress-wise, and she just must have flipped out.
Students at the high school outside Fresno, California say the
Think that's safe for her to be in there with them scissors?
teacher had been acting strangely for several days before the meltdown.
She's a nut. Ask her who she voted for.
Michigan. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. FEMA's big move to tiny Michigan town has residents on edge. Rightfully so. In an unexpected turn of events, FEMA has rolled into a small rural town in Michigan with a staggering convoy of 350 different vehicles, semi-trucks, trailers, setting up a large-scale base in an area with fewer than 1,000 residents. This once quiet town is now bustling with activity as FEMA trucks, semi-trailers filled with equipment, and a large number of emergency support personnel establish a major operation hub at the town's small regional airport.
Next would be the airport report. That would be me. The airport was just notified that FEMA has chosen the airport facility as a stationing hub for emergency services through FEMA. They will be serving 6 counties in this area, and they will be bringing in some 350 semi-trailers with equipment to park on the base. So if you see a lot of trucks coming into the base, that's what it is. It's nothing to get scared about. They're staging for emergency situations in any of these 6 counties that FEMA. It's nothing to get scared about. They're staging for emergency situations in any of these 6 counties that FEMA takes care of.
Yeah, ain't nothing to worry about. Be shut down less than 24
This
hours.
auction, whatever goes on with the skullduggery is a serious concern. It's in God's hands. And the victory is getting Trump in, and the victory is that we never backed down, never gave up, and that we're going to continue on. Fight, fight, fight is what this is all about, and having an indomitable, dauntless, stalwart spirit. And so it has been an incredible blessing to know the crew, an incredible blessing to know the audience, an incredible blessing to interview all these amazing guests, and our reporters and our researchers. And this is a family. And I'm going to do my best to keep everybody working and continuing on with whatever comes in the future. whether good guys buy it or not. I will never back down. I will never waver or falter. I will never lie to you. I get things wrong occasionally, and I'll tell you when I am. And I'm just here to tell you that I'm extremely blessed and honored to have been part of this, and this is all a group effort, and it's just so amazing. And whatever happens, it's God's will, and we are victorious, and we will continue on because our God is the God of the universe.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth.
21, I'm a high school graduate, and I work in the Marine Corps.
I'm 30 years old.
30 years old, and I know what I'm doing. I got 2 college degrees.
I have my PhD in cancer biology, and I work in the biotech industry. Grad school, I went to University of South Carolina, and undergrad, I went to University of Florida. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, me, I don't know. PhD, cancer biology scientist. I work in a biotech company. We make COVID-19 testing kits, stuff like that. And then 6. It has nothing to do with your background. I don't think you really have the highest EQ out of all of us.
You can't even comb your hair, bitch.
Number 1 is Raymond. Number 2 would be Kaylee. Number 3 would be Tyler. And number 4 would be Shada. Number 5 is Sean, and number 6 is Maria.
You work at a biotech lab, right?
21.
Smarmy bitches.
I gradually reach in my pocket
Mason
and grab this little bottle of mace and shit. This the kind you ain't gotta shake up because it's gel, it's not a spray. There's a difference between mace spray and mace gel. There's a big difference. So as they coming up to me, in my mind, homie, if I do this wrong, I'm in trouble. If I fuck up Mason these days, I'm in trouble. But if I do it right, they in trouble. So he walk up to me. The first 6, 7 guys, damn near stand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As soon as he say, I want to talk, I'll reach over her head and mace. I know I gotta get out this corner, my nigga. It's still other guys coming. So when I come back this way, I come out the corner, right? She turn around and look at me. As I'm going this way, a little bit get her on the mouth and chin. I come back and get him again. I still got these guys coming as one of the guys with the gun. By this time, the commotion that I done caused, he's saying when I get him, his first reaction was, ah, shit, bruh, did you just mace me? You tripping, bruh, this nigga mace. I'm like, yeah, nigga. Bruh, I just wanted to talk, not with 12 niggas, motherfucker.
And you got some jackass laughing like a hyena.
Wait, I just be minding my business.
The perpetrators are created from child abuse. That's what they do to their own children. They fracture the minds of their kids. They do dissociative disorder. We call it MK Ultra mind control. But they have torture for all of their kids. Some of the people that I know personally from families of the Illuminati, who I've met over these last 3 years, talk about being turned upside down and electrocuted with a car battery for 18 hours. They do this because they want the child to call out to God, and God will not be there for them, and this is how they begin the programming. When the child is born, as soon as the child lays eyes on the mother begins to frown at the child so that that vibrational energy gets imprinted onto the subconscious mind. This is a war that has been waged for a very long time. We are at a turning point of humanity where consciousness is rising. The collective consciousness of sex trafficking is rising. It is going to lead to the unfolding of looking at child abuse as a whole.
Explosion leaves multiple people trapped or injured or missing with 1 mile shelter in place issue due to hazardous material. Not another train. The deep state must be evil. They're still blowing shit up. Maybe we can see another chicken plant go up or something, or a cow barn. It's Clifton, Kentucky. What gets me is when you're building a house and shit, and you got to put them hurricane straps on the bottom plate, and it's a code that you got. It's code hurricane, and when the hurricane comes through and it snatches the whole damn house out, where's your code at now, bitch? That's train cars. It's like train cars. Was advising him
before he was elected. There was a thing during the election where he and I were at the same place, and I avoided him. Anyway, then he got elected, and so I went to see him in December. He asked me if vaccines weren't a bad thing, because he was considering a commission to look into ill effects of vaccines, and somebody, his name is Robert Kennedy Jr., was advising him that vaccines were causing bad things, and I said, no, that's a dead end, that would be a bad thing, don't do that. I never met Donald Trump.
Now, the shitter show's still going. That's going constant.
Before he was elected, there was a thing during the election where he and I were at the same place, and I avoided him.
The plans ever complied their way out of totalitarian control.
Turnkey totalitarianism. They are putting in place all of these technological mechanisms for control we've never seen before. It's been the ambition of every totalitarian state from the beginning of mankind to control every aspect of behavior, of conduct, of thought, and to obliterate dissent. None of them have been able to do it. They didn't have the technological capacity. Today, the mechanisms are being put in place that will make it so none of us can run and none of us can hide. Within 5 years, we're going to see 415,000 low-orbit satellites. Bill Gates says his 65,000 satellites alone will be able to look at every square inch of the planet 24 hours a day. Digital currency that will allow them to punish us from a distance and cut off our food supply. Every right that you have is transformed into a privilege contingent upon your obedience to arbitrary government dictates. It will make you a slave. And what do we do about this? What do? We resist. I'm going to tell you 3 rules that you all need to know and memorize. Number 1, every power that government takes from us, it will never relinquish voluntarily. Number 2, every power they take from us, they will ultimately abuse to the maximum extent possible. Number 3, nobody in history of the planet has ever complied their way out of totalitarian control. Every capitulation is a signal to the oppressors to impose new forms of torment or torture or compliance or obedience. Every time you comply, you get weaker. Bullies cannot be appeased. It just...
They done used 2 buckets on it?
Bingo.
Tell Buck to get another one in the morning. Tell him to take that here. Tell him to take this check to him. And he's got to take that filter back in the morning.
Yeah, I already got the filter and something else.
Water pump, filter, and the tires.
I got 2 bottles for you too.
And tell him to make sure he gets a receipt on that water pump.
Encourages them to new forms of torture and torment. Every time you say yes,
I'm about to tell you is a matter of life and...
Oh, that's that guy from Aquaman touching his little girl's booty.
If the soil dies, we die.
Joel Salagen will
The
fix
facts have
that.
been proven. Roundup does cause cancer.
If you burrow deeply enough, there is a pipeline of money from the pesticide industry into those universities. They're getting the kind of science that money can buy.
Same ones that's talking about climate change. Follow the money.
Nature is the mother of us all. And if mama ain't happy...
Shut up, you pedophile.
We're
But there's a way to save our precious soils. It's called regeneration.
Regeneration is not just restoring the land to the state that we found it at, but actually making it better.
Joel Salagen.
We have added over 96 tons of carbon per acre into our soil. Can we mitigate climate change? Absolutely.
Climate change
We're
is a
gonna
scam.
check the...
Tired of hearing about that shit.
Would, quote, be one of the most important days in the history of our country. He walked out to a ballroom of his supporters at his resort in Florida to make it official. He is running for president again.
But when you start seeing numbers, real numbers, like what's going on in Georgia, suddenly you feel like telling Democrats that are bitching and moaning about what the Harris campaign's doing, hey, calm down. You know what? Victory is in sight. In less than 3 weeks, the opponent is imploding, and Harris is doing better than ever.
We've been out there campaigning with Kamala Harris. How's it looking? Is she going to win?
I think so, for sure. I mean, when you go to one of her campaigns,
He looks like a lesbian.
she is just a dynamic speaker. I mean, the crowd is engaged. The energy is off the charts. I mean, if that's any indication, she's going to win easily.
And I have not changed my prediction of a Kamala Harris win.
And it shows Vice President Harris with a 3-point lead over Donald Trump in that state.
But we have him on the run now.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go on record, and the answer is yes. I think that he loses because of this debate performance.
And make no mistake, we will win. We will win. We will win.
I think she was wrong.
Or as a certain former president would say, yes, we can.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, we project, will win in Kentucky, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana, Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Utah, Wisconsin, Arizona. Trump is the winner in Alaska.
Donald Trump won the state of Nevada.
Michigan projected to go to Trump.
Trump will win the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
As I was saying,
Trump's a badass. Donald Trump win. The AP has called this race But look, Biden would have whooped him bad. Yeah, okay.
See, United States Capitol and House and Senate office buildings. All buildings closed for public tours are suspended until further notice. Library of Congress closed to the public, suspended until further notice. White House, call 202-456-7041 for any type of update. FBI building, closed to the public, suspended until further notice. Bureau of Engraving and Printing, building closed. All tours suspended until further notice.
Is that the mint that you're talking about, engraving?
Yes.
Wonder what they're closed for.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, somebody just tried to use some fear tactics on me. What are you going to do when all of Trump's policies take place and you as a woman have lost all your rights? All I heard was womp 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 womp. That's not the peanut gallery. You mean, what am I gonna do when them borders are closed? You mean, what am I gonna do when our children know who they are in their body and not told they could be something else? You mean, what am I gonna do when world leaders begin to respect America again? You mean, what am I gonna do when TikTok, Facebook, Instagram stop censoring me and I can have freedom of speech again? You mean, what am I gonna do when I can read my Bible and worship Jesus and not be told that I'm preaching hate speech? You mean, what am I gonna do when they can define what a woman is? Rejoice. That's what I'm gonna do. So, somebody just tried.
Amen. Rejoice. See, she laid out the whole plan.
We will have total nigger death. We will have Hyperborea to...
Deus do céu, gente. Ela tá feliz. Nenê do pai. Mas, meu Deus do céu, gente. Ela tá feliz, meu Deus do céu. Bebê. Mas, gente do céu. Nenê do pai. Mas, meu Deus do céu, gente.
Wisconsin Senate candidate Eric Hove just revealed his opponent won nearly 99% of a large ballot dump at 4 a.m. in Milwaukee. There is mysterious footage of trucks dropping off ballots at that time. It's because they're cheating again.
Rescued from the jungle compound of a Jewish extremist group in Mexico following a raid by police. The Lev Tahor group...
We've not seen that before.
I believe it's better not to comment until I have the facts. Wisconsin Election Commission is in the final process of finalizing the canvass from last Tuesday's election. Like many of my supporters, I was shocked by what unfolded on election night. At 1 a.m., I was receiving calls of congratulations, and based on the models, it appeared I would win the Senate race. Then at 4 a.m., Milwaukee reported approximately 108,000 absentee ballots, with Senator Baldwin receiving nearly 90% of those ballots. Statistically, this outcome seems improbable, as it didn't match the patterns from same-day voting in Milwaukee, where I received 22% of the votes. Since last Wednesday, numerous parties have reached out to me about voting inconsistencies, such as certain voting precincts in Milwaukee having turnout of over 150% of registered voters, and in some cases over 200%.
How do you do that?
Additionally, in 2020, President Biden received 10 million more votes than Vice President Harris did last Tuesday. Yet in Milwaukee, even though the population of Milwaukee has declined, and registered voters declined by 26,330, and early voting numbers were down.
No, do y'all need to get in there and get them damn brakes made on that truck?
Received only 1,100 less votes than Biden did, which is not...
They're cheating. X is now the #1 news app on the App Store in Italy.
Go to the gym, and this guy that I see in there all the time, he's got like tattoos all over him. He looks like super tough. I'm walking out of the gym just now, and he goes, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh my god, here we go." Because not like even 2 weeks ago, these two younger guys came up behind me. I was like leaving and they were leaving, and the guy like coughed. But he said something when he coughed, and it took me a while to like figure out what it was.
What was it?
Or at least like what I think it was.
What it was?
The only thing I could think it sounded like was ogre.
Ogre?
So he like literally coughed into his hand and said ogre. And
he could have been saying yogurt.
that kind of hurt my feelings. I'm
Robbie.
not gonna lie, I still have like some deep-rooted insecurities about being heavier. When he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Here we go," like something else to add to my chart. And he goes, "I've seen you in here every week, almost every day. I've seen you in here every week, and I'm proud of you."
Oh, and she started crying.
Videos like this always have a special place in my heart. This serves as an important lesson. Some humans are amazing, and some are absolute grade A shit stains.
Yeah, everybody can't be great. We got a bunch of shitholes out there, and most of them are Democrats.
Some people make the world a better place, and
Some people put a smile on your face, and some people make you want to punch them in it.
make you wish.
That's a good one.
Wish they had been caught in a condom at their point of conception. Some people will encourage you in the gym or any other place you feel uncomfortable, and some will mock you and make you want to quit. The world is full of both types of these people, and you can't always control who you stumble across. But I hope the social media fitness community, including myself, can be a tiny ripple of positive change to make gym spaces more welcoming. You can all see how upsetting it could be when people taunt you in the gym. A perfect example of how weight discrimination can deter people from exercising altogether. But you can also see how uplifting it can be when other people support you. We know physical activity is great for our health, right? Imagine how we could improve the health of society if we just made gyms friendly, enjoyable places to be. So let's try and make gyms more welcoming for everyone, no matter what you look like, how fit you are, or...
What color are they, Robbie? Shows them how to trade it for an almond. Liberty beats you up on men in America and listen to MSN would never want you to hear
Introduced in
that.
2012 as one of the greatest visionaries of our time. Over the last few years, my wife and I have remained in close contact with Donald Trump and with his special counsel who accompanied him here in 2012. As our friendship has grown, so has my admiration for Mr. Trump. Whenever we were in New York, we were asked to drop by and say hello at the Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Mr. Trump is loyal to his friends, even new friends like us. As you know, Liberty University does not support or oppose candidates for public office, and Mr. Trump's appearance here should not be interpreted by any as an endorsement by Liberty, but we have invited all the other candidates for president from both the Democrat and Republican parties. But I do want to share with you things that I've recently learned about Mr. Trump that most people don't know. Things he never would have told me and things you won't read about in the media. Soon after his last visit, a friend who leads another well-known Christian ministry in another state was seeking support for an important project. I called Mr. Trump, told him about the need, and later learned he had donated $100,000 of his own money to assist. On another occasion, Mr.
They're messing with that backhoe out there.
Trump learned about Clyde Frazier. Sorry. Here we go. On another occasion, Mr. Trump learned about Clyde Frazier Jr., a young African-American man in New York who ran something called the Harlem Hoops basketball tournament in the inner city. Clyde died in the 9/11 attacks on New York City, and the tournament had to be shut down. Mr. Trump told his aides to find Clyde's father, and when they did, Trump donated the money to keep the tournament operating. Once, Mr. Trump was in his limousine. It broke down on a deserted highway. A couple stopped to help him. Soon thereafter, Mr. Trump paid off the mortgage on that couple's house. Watching 60 Minutes one night, Mr. Trump saw a report on the negative impact a Maytag plant moving to Mexico had on the community of Newton, Iowa. He contacted all three of the businesses covered in the report and found ways to help them financially, actually preventing the closure of the businesses. Liberty student Erin Kelly told us this week about how generous Mr. Trump was to her family when her father, Jim Kelly, was receiving cancer treatments in New York, giving them a place to stay close to the hospital and calling every week to check on Jim. I attended the debate in Charleston the other night, and I noticed how friendly and personable Mr. Trump is to strangers. He was the only candidate who walked down off the stage after the grueling 2.5-hour debate to greet the crowd, shake hands, and pose for pictures.
Grueling.
Matthew 7:16 tells us that by their fruits ye shall know them. Donald Trump's life has borne fruit that has provided jobs to multitudes of people, in addition to the many he has helped with his generosity. I have met 3 of his children in the last week, and I can tell you they are personable, kind, and humble, successful in their family lives and in their vocations. A real credit to their father and to the Trump family. I have seen firsthand that his staff loves him and is loyal to him because of his servant leadership. In my opinion, Donald Trump lives a life of loving and helping others, as Jesus taught in the Great Commandment. My father was criticized in the early 1980s for supporting Ronald Reagan over Jimmy Carter because because Ronald Reagan was a Hollywood actor who'd been divorced and remarried, and Jimmy Carter was a Southern Baptist Sunday school teacher. My father proudly replied that Jesus pointed out that we are all sinners, every one of us. And when Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's," that meant we are to be good citizens, voting, active in the political process, serving in the armed forces if necessary. And while Jesus never told us who to vote for, he gave us all common sense to choose the best leaders and the ability to choose the best leaders.
Thanks. Robbie.
A 369, please. One who intends to come take away the freedom and opportunity and dignity of Illinoisans, I would remind you that a happy warrior is still a warrior. You come.
That sounds like a veiled threat there, fat boy.
For my people, you come through me.
That's right. We're gonna put you on the bus with them.
Game
1
on.
minute, your reaction, Tom.
Game on. We got no problem going through him. I got 20,000 men and women in ICE are going to do their job with no apology. Congress has enacted a law that protects this country. People need to understand. But what if they're not criminal aliens? Look, entering this country illegally is a crime. Every illegal alien in this country committed a crime to get here, so they're all criminals. And look, there's some worse than others. I get that. And even if they're not a criminal alien, when you cross that border and you overwhelm the Border Patrol, just because you're simply illegal alien, not a criminal, when you overrun the Border Patrol, that's when they get busy changing diapers, making baby formula, making hospital runs, making transportation runs. That's when the fentanyl comes across to kill 250,000 people. That's when you got 600% increase in sex trafficking. That's when you have a record number of terrorists crossing the border and people on terrorist watch lists. Illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. We're going to enforce the law without apologies, and the day Donald Trump takes that oath, we're in a go mode. And if any government wants to stand in the way, go ahead and do it. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to be intimidated. The men and women with ICE ain't going to be intimidated. We're going to do our job the way President Trump has committed to the American people. We have a mandate, and we're going to do it.
Has done way more in these last 5 days than Kamala Harris has done in her last 4 years, okay? This is exactly why America voted for him. I've never been so proud of my vote. So proud. He's been hiring and firing people, and he hasn't even been in office yet. Did y'all see who he appointed as border czar? So freaking excited, okay? Donald.
Hello? Mr. Green. All right. Yeah. All right, I'll see you tomorrow then. Thank you, sir. All right. Bye-bye. What the world should look like after finding out that our governments are involved in sex trafficking children. True. That's what it should look like.
And the biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops. Go chase down murderers and drug dealers and violent offenders. What do you need 7,000 people there for? Same thing with DOJ. What are all these people doing here?
Nothing. Wasting our tax dollars.
For their next government promotion, looking for their next fancy government title, looking for their parachute out of government. So while you're bringing in the right people, you also have to shrink government.
We will follow the Constitution and the rule of law, but make no mistake, we will make all of the conspirators pay dearly for lying to the American people, whether they're government officials or in the media. You're officially on notice. We're coming for you.
I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back. I want you back.
They would give me a damn thing. Copyright strike playing that music. All right there, fellas. We appreciate y'all being over here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the thumbs up out there. We appreciate it. Frank, thanks for the damn subs that you did the other day. We appreciate that too. We need to get them sub numbers up. We need 20 over here. We will be able to get the hours. Watch a video. If you ain't doing nothing, just play a video in the background while you're scrubbing dishes there, Fox. You could have a video playing in the background, listening to good stuff and giggling and bubbles. We will holler at y'all when we're gonna holler at them, Jamie. Later.
Like you lost another one.
I mean, that was close. Wow. I mean, that was close. We can laugh about it now. We're all right, you know.
Point a new SEC chairman. Do you want to goddamn say it again? Oh, shit. Wow. Do what? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Hell, you got me all. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.